Now today what we're going to be doing is reloading ammo with my handy dandy load bench. And what we're going to be reloading is my favorite cartridge, the 45 Colt. I need new carry ammo for my daily carry, and well, we're going to go over exactly what that new carry is going to be. We're going to reload one here at the table. I'm going to show you also what I was carrying. We're going to take them both to the range and see what the differences are between the old versus the new. Now for the majority of this video, my handy dandy cameraman right here, or camera lady, I should probably say, is, my little girl. She is battling allergies right now fiercely, and I'm just regretting when I'm going to be facing what she is because we both get them every year. So she is unable to breathe through her nostrils right now. So if you hear breathing in the background, it's this one. Now, like I said, we're going to be reloading some new ammo for my everyday carry. Now, what that carry happens to be is a Colt Single Action Army. Technically, it's a Uberti replica. Now, the Ubertis are just a fraction stronger than the actual Colts themselves. The cylinders are dimensionally just a little thicker, so they can handle a bit more. But, with that being said, what I had in it were these. Now these are 300 grain XTP mag projectile hollow points. And to be honest with you, they've been in there so long, you can see how tarnished they are, that I have completely forgotten what powder is actually behind that bullet. But what we're going to be replacing it with and what we're going to be loading today are these. Now these are also 300 grain bullets, these bullets right here, and they happen to be not hollow points, but flat nose. Soft points, yeah. So, that's what we got going. Let me show you how to actually reload your own ammo. We're going to reload one more of those. That's going to be our test. Those are going to be what's actually in the revolver to carry. So, let's get to it. Now, we're going to be reloading this ammo on my handy dandy reloading bench. Now, this thing is kind of cool. We're obviously inside the house right now. Not the ideal place to reload, but it works out for me because frankly my garage is filled to the brim with car stuff. Because of that channel right there, the New Guy's Garage. That's the main channel, and this is kind of the spin-off channel. So this allows me to reload inside my own home relatively, mess-free. It's on wheels. So whenever, I'm done with it, I just wheel it off into the spare room and, wheel it out whenever I want to reload stuff. The powder we're going to be using is a combination of 777 and W231 ball powder. Now the ball powder is a smokeless powder, but you'll realize the 777 is actually a black powder substitute. We're doing duplex loads because, well, that's kind of what this whole channel has been based on, is duplex loading 45 Colt, and there's a lot of merits to it. And I got my Lee loading press here. I got some primers. I think they're just standard large pistol primers. And like I said, we got our bullets. I also have a little scale over here that you're going to get to see in just a second. I think that's everything. Oh, the brass. I got just tons of unshot 45 Colt brass just in bags scattered through the table. Stuff I shot myself, and then other stuff I've just picked up through Facebook Marketplace or just literally picked up on, shooting ranges. Although you don't really find much 45 Colt out there. It's kind of a niche cartridge anymore, but like I said, it's my favorite. Alright, I'm going to bring you in closer and we're going to reload one together.
Go.
Okay, so first off you need some empty brass in order to reload. Now I got various varieties and different brands of brass, but whenever I'm using like experimental stuff, I always go with the strongest. As we can see, we have a Starline brass right here. Starline's good stuff, so this is the one we're going to be using. Now you want to make sure your brass is fairly clean, or well, clear of contaminants anyway on the inside. Now, a lot of people will put this in like some sort of, brass cleaner, tumbler, with media, and I mean, get this stuff looking brand new. I don't really think it's necessary. It's not anything I do. I just ream it out with a paper towel, look inside, make sure there's no chunks in it, and that's all I do. Now this reloading press has 3 different dies to it. Now this is going to be your decapper. It's going to take off your old primer and straighten up the inside of the case. This is going to be your flare. It's going to flare the opening of the case to make, seating the next bullet a little bit easier. And then this is actually to crimp and seat your bullet. Now this will push the bullet down into your case, and then at its desired height in the case, it's going to crimp the mouth of the case onto the bullet, keeping it in place. We're going to obviously start with this one because it's the first one. Alright, so we just put our cartridge right here. This is a little clip that holds it. You can get different clips to hold different cartridges for this. And now this part right here, you put your brand new primer in. So we'll just dink our primer there. Now we have our decapper put in the top here. So all we do is we take this handle, we press down, take a look inside there. We press down. The old primer falls out down into this tube. Watch the tube. There it is. And now we push down and seat the new primer in. You can see that? Seating it in. And now we have a freshly primed cartridge. Alright, we're done with this guy. Moving on to this guy to flare out our case. It just sticks in there. Now come closer. Take a look at the case. You just flare out the top. Just like that. You got a nice little flare going on. And now we're done with that too. And on to the last step, which is frankly the most complicated step. Alright, now we got to fill this case with powder. Now, like I said in the beginning, we're going to be doing a duplex load. What in the world's going on over there?
I was trying to ruin your video.
Well, succeeding. Now, like I said, we're going to be doing a duplex load. And we're going to be starting out with the smokeless powder on the bottom of the case first. We're going to use 1 grain of this W231 ball powder. And I has me a scale right here. It's just a cheap, I think it's a medical scale for weighing out medicine stuff. The actual gunpowder scales are ridiculous, like 60, 80 bucks. This thing was cheap. I think this was like 20 bucks, 15 bucks or something. How accurate is it? I mean, I'm sure it's good enough. So we're going to weigh out 1 grain of powder, which can be easier said than done. Ah, there we go. 1.2. That's close enough for what I'm doing. You just grab this, and that goes right in the case. Now, for the second part, we are going to be using a powder measure. Well, this is powder measure right here. This is technically a flask, but it has a 30 grain measure on top of its spout. But we don't need 30 grains. We're going to use 35 grains of the 777 3F black powder substitute. And we're going to use this little guy to measure that out. This is just filled with the stuff. It's easier than trying to pull it out of there. So I just take my little flask and I fill up the measure until I get... And you're not technically supposed to be... what is it? You're not supposed to be tapping it down. But I always do, because you know what? A little extra is just a little extra. Now, that goes right on top. And generally, you always want to just open this up afterwards, because there's always a little bit left in there. And just dump the rest. Okay. Now, we have a quite full cartridge of powder. That's what black powder does for you. Alright, and now we are going to seat our bullet into the cartridge using this guy here. Now what this is up here is an adjustable, this is what's pushing on the bullet. So however far down you have this or up you have this is going to determine how far it pushes the bullet into the cartridge. Now what I do is I just kind of crank this thing down. Especially for your first one, I just kind of crank her down. And I just focus on seating the bullet first. So I'm going to push it in a little bit. Push it in a little bit. Pull in a little bit more. And I kind of rotate it as I do it, just to kind of even out the pressure. Just a little bit more. Come on, you. Okay. Now with full black powder, this is a compressed load. More compressed than what you'll probably be doing, but this is why we use strong brass, and this is the experimental part of things. Now that I got the bullet down into the crimp groove where I want it, I just come up here and I just loosen this guy all the way up, or most of the way up. And now I'm just going to crimp it. So I can come up here, crimp, rotate, crimp, rotate, crimp some more. Want to make sure I got a nice solid crimp. And there is our completed projectile. Now, if you were going to be reloading a lot of these, what you would then do is once you have it where it's fully crimped, come back and place this guy right on the bullet and tighten him down. And that will be your final measurement. So you can just, full on crimp it. I don't usually do that when loading the black powder stuff because of how compressed it is. There's some slop in there and it doesn't quite get to the same place each time. So this is the way I do it when I'm doing really heavily compressed cartridges, which you probably won't be doing. And that is how you reload your own ammo, well, at home, right? Now, you decide what kind of ammo and what powder and what projectile you're going to be using. This is a fairly unique combination, being a duplex load using 777 3F, highly compressing it. All things that don't usually go together, but, well, that's, what we're here to do. Now, all we have left to do is load up the gun, make sure that the cylinder actually rotates all the way around and the bullet does not get caught on the forcing cone, which it does not. Take it to the range and see what it does. One minor aesthetic change for why I'm actually going with this ammo, besides the potential better performance, is the fact that those copper hollow points just don't look right in this gun. But a big old lead slug does. So, that's part of it. Oh, so close.
Where did I hit?
It just to the right of it, I think. Hard to tell from here.
Well, with less stuff on it, definitely did better.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the chronograph isn't working. I accidentally had it turned on in the trunk for months, so the battery's completely dead. So we won't get any actual chronograph data off this test, which is kind of a bummer, but we will at least get to see what the bullets do when they hit the water and how they deform. Starting out with what I was carrying, the 300 grain XTP projectile. Let's go see. See, not very impressive. This is another reason why I kind of want to change this carry around. This Magnum bullet really needs to be going a lot faster than what I'm able to, project it out of my revolver. I'm going to guess it's probably moving around 1050, 1050 feet a second, which is just not enough velocity for this thing. Now, it actually went into our bucket too, so we had to dig all of it out, in the dirt, because it just didn't expand, went through the water, the towel, and right into the bucket. All right, well, let's try out our new load. Alright, so let's try our new and improve round and see how that expands through the water. Let's take a look. Well, I'll be darned. That didn't open up at all either. Huh. I'm fairly shocked by that. I thought the soft nose was going to do a lot more expanding, but it really didn't. Huh. Well, looks like I'm going to have to rethink my ammo strategy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say? That's not impressive at all.
Yeah, it isn't. Is this the round one?
Yeah, that's the flat nose one. That's the soft point. See, I thought the soft point, having it exposed, was going to do a lot more. But it really didn't. I mean, it just poked a hole through the jug. There's still water in there.
Yeah.
That's not impressive whatsoever.
No.
Now, as you can see, our brand new load is on the left, and our original one was on the right. That primer is quite a bit flatter, so it was definitely hauling a lot faster. I would guess that is in the neighborhood of over 1100 feet per second, possibly 1140 feet per second, if only my chronograph had not ran out of batteries. But we have more, so once I get new batteries, we'll test it again. But as you can see, definitely a lot more pressure out of that one. It's flattened off quite a bit. Well, all in all, it wasn't the result I thought we were going to get. I really thought having all that exposed soft lead was going to mushroom out a lot better than it did. But that's why we test things. You know, I mean, on the bright side, it's still 300 grains of lead moving at you 1100 plus feet per second. So I think it'll still get the job done, but we're going to come up with a better mixture next time. But all that aside, that's how you reload ammo at home. Hope you found it interesting, and, well, I'll catch you next time.